yourself, your company sucks.
Well, the problem with doing that is, you know, if you do that and somebody thinks you suck, they'll just register PayPal really sucks. You can't come up with every possible domain name that has the word sucks. PayPal is the suckiest. Boy, is PayPal sucky. You know, that's not a good preemptive strike. I mean, if somebody's going to, you know, put up a sucks page, they'll find a domain to use. I mean, the third one was PayPalWarning.com, right? Same concept as PayPal sucks. So clearly, the PayPal warning people, they didn't think the PayPal sucks page was strong enough. So they decided they wanted to actually put a fraud warning out there. So, you know, it's going to happen sometimes. I mean, you know, when you've got a lot of customers, some are going to be disgruntled, and you may end up with this situation.
Why would the customer pay to have their link put over on that page? On that last page of the... It's a sponsored link. Yeah, they were paying.
Maybe they have some kind of a business model. I don't know why, you know, aboutpaypal.org feels it's worth paying for links on PayPal. But you know, maybe they're a competitor. But it seems like it just seems like somebody was pissed enough that they actually were willing to pay.
Maybe a lawyer who's organizing the class.
Yeah, it could be a class action lawsuit. Could be a variety of things.
Like I read in the paper
Sure.
where there's a lawyer who's developed a website for people to report police abuse in some county just away.
Right.
Well, you know, it's really not because they care about the victim. It's so they can glom on.
Of course.
And have everybody say how that mystery sucks.
Right, right. So yeah, I mean, probably none of you are impacted by the sucks problem, but if you are, you know, there's some interesting tactics you can use to try to get around that. So some of the major organic search mistakes that people make that you guys should try to address is hidden text or cloaking your site. People used to make text the same color as the background, and they would be like, "Oh, this will be great. You know, I'll come up high for this stuff." No go. You know that in the beginning it was done by actually coding your text directly as being the same color as the background. The sort of newfangled way of doing is using cascading style sheets to make the text the same color as the background. In either case, you should be able to do it without, if the content, you know, is about a particular topic, the keyword's going to repeat sufficiently in the content to get ranking if you deserve it. You shouldn't have to write, you know, extra content below the fold or whatever. People believe that, you know, submitting will help. Submitting really doesn't help. I mean, if you're really starting from scratch, will submitting help? It might help just a little bit, but generally it's the inbound links that mean far more than submitting. Joining the free-for-all link farms, you know, not a good way to go. Non-unique titles is my favorite, particularly with database-driven sites. They just never bother to put a variable in the title that changes as you move around the site. Boring titles, flash navigation, spider roadblocks with poor navigation, or session IDs. Poor copy, and not taking advantage of anchor links. Those are pretty much the top organic search mistakes. So, let's see. I think we've got a little more time. Yep, we have a little more time. If you want, we can take a couple of your sites and sort of spend 10 or 15 minutes using them as a learning experience to sort of, I could do like a quickie site audit of your site and see if we can come up with some. Sure, go ahead.
The first one is hidden text or cloaking.
Right.
What's cloaking?
Cloaking is essentially serving the search engine spiders one thing at the server level and the humans something else. So because
so anytime you have hidden text or things you're hiding,
yeah.
that the user can't see.
Right. So if the user's experience is different than the search engine's experience, that's usually a bad thing. You know, where it's somewhat acceptable is on very high-end e-commerce sites where they're personalizing the pages a little bit. They usually don't personalize the entire page, but they personalize portions of it, you know, to make product recommendations or something like that. So that's acceptable to do. All right. We have a volunteer, so let's see if my internet connection works. If it does, in the meantime, did you have a question?
Yeah, mistake number 2.
Yep.
When we're submitting. If you go to your log file or you go to the image in cache and find out the server supplier hasn't been to your site in a long time, what else can you do to entice the supplier to get there and submit?
Just try to get a couple more links. It's usually your best bet. So, first thing to sort of comment about this page as it loads is it's got a page rank of 5, which isn't too bad. You can see this is Flash, but it doesn't have navigation in it, so I'm not really that concerned about the Flash. You know, the first content that the search engine sees is Allstate Business Archives and Vault Services, which that's not too bad because it's got the word, you know, archives and vault services, although it doesn't have the word storage in here anywhere, and I think document storage or something like that probably should also be down here, because it's up here in your title, document storage, but it's not. It's a while before I come across the word document storage down here, so I might want to try to rewrite that copy a little bit to float the concept of document storage up here. The other thing I would want to do is I'd want to repeat my, is this a frame? Yep, that's a frame. So that's a no-no because this is in a frame. So you don't want to have a frame because the search engine is going to find the frame, not the rest of the information. So what's happening is, we also have a JavaScript flyout menu, so that's bad too. So this link that I'm rolling over right now, I'm pretty sure that the search engine can't see it. And if we do a view source, we could actually look at it and see what the source looks like. Well, first of all, this validates that we're seeing a frame because all the content there's a lot of content that's missing here, and you're actually hiding some information in here as well. So that's weird. That's your no frames. Okay, so you know, the frames, get rid of your frames, and then also fix this navigation, because the navigation currently is non-optimal. It's a JavaScript style navigation. These might be fine. These anchor links are actually okay because they're describing where you're going. So microfilming, you know, that tells us something about the page that we're looking at. The other way we know that this is framed is because the URL up top didn't change, right? So as I'm navigating around this site, the URL is not changing, but yet the URL of this particular inside frame is changing. So I mean, what happens is with the frames is you would have situations where even if this page got indexed and somebody navigated to it, that's what they'd get to, right? So that's the problem with frames, is that even if this page, which is /HTML/services, you know, image microfilming.htm, even though it's indexed, which it actually is, because you can see it has a page rank, and we can actually look at the cached snapshot of the page in Google and see what Google saw last time it came to the page. But the problem is, even if this happens to come up high for something, it's not going to, the user experience is going to be pretty horrible, because they'll click on the link and they'll get to this, and there's no navigation, there's no contact us, there's no nothing. So this was last retrieved on August 16th by Google, and you know, this is what Google found. So you know, we're able to tell a lot by using the toolbar. We could even see, you know, what links point to this page by using the link command.